Hey, everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the Beehive Sports Podcast, powered by Swing Juice. Visit swingjuice.com. Use promo code Beehive20 for 20% off your golf and MLBPA apparel. A lot of people commented on my Swing Juice golf polo at Chopper yesterday, so I gave them the little, go there and use this promo code because they're nice polos, so people should buy them. Yeah. So this week's episode, we have quite a bit to get into. If you remember last week, we kind of got cut short, so we're going to fly through a lot of stuff tonight. Starting out in the buzz, we'll get into member guest results. Only one local shout out, but it's kind of an intriguing one because it was something I've never heard of before. Of course, the buzz and buzz kill, Baker trade, Heinz Field getting a new name. So that's all going to be jam packed into the buzz. The reactions to the Heinz Field stuff's been pretty comical online. I saw a tweet that was fucking hilarious. So I will read that for everybody here. And this week in sports history, we're going to get into the history of worn golf courses. All four.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty. I found some, it's nothing earth shattering, but year they were built, some distances, slope, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Sketty on John Morant, which I'm assuming this has to do with what he said about Jordan, but I don't want to blow anything. So I'm just going to let that settle until we get there. The things that sting, only 2 stories this week. Now, maybe I missed some stuff because I did have a long weekend of golf. However, only one guy getting arrested. That's pretty solid. So we're things are looking up. And apparently Zach Wilson is the MILF hunter. So we'll talk about that a little bit too. And then in My Hive, since last week we did not have a My Hive, got cut short. We were going to do AFC starting quarterbacks. This week we're going to get into AFC and NFC. We're going to do them all at once as training camp's right around the corner. So get the the most important position on the field, get that taken care of. And that'll be, like I said, in My Hive, AFC, NFC. We're going to rotate them back and forth. Let's go.
Welcome to the Beehive Sports Podcast. Here are your hosts, Joe and Sketty.
The Buzz brought to you by Bushlight. Bushlight apples back on the shelves. Get it wherever you purchase your adult beverages. Please drink responsibly. And a reminder to our audio listeners, if you are one who just listens to the show later on in your car while you're driving, you are able, if you have time, to go back. The videos are embedded. The live shows are broadcasted on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Give us a follow or subscribe on all of those if possible. We greatly appreciate it. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube at the Beehive Sports Podcast, Twitter at the Beehive SP, and Instagram at Beehive Sports Pod. So look us up on all of those if possible. Give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, whatever it might be. We're back. This is like episode 16, I think. I don't know. Member guest, fresh off member guest.
Yeah.
I had a great time.
I'm still exhausted. Exhausted.
I am too.
I did nothing yesterday.
I golfed yesterday.
Yep.
Stupid.
I know. Chopper, how'd that go? There's no way I could have done it.
No, it wasn't great. And it was funny because I did run into like Gilbert and Stoddard and about, 4 or 5 other guys who played member guests, and we just all kind of looked at each other and we're like, meh.
I told you guys. I said it before. I'm like, that's just too. I actually, Ole asked me if I wanted to play on his team, which I probably would have considered. Riley went to Pittsburgh yesterday. If I would have known she was going to be out of town, I probably would have considered it on Wednesday when he asked me. So happy that I didn't. I got out of work yesterday, completely beached on the couch for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
just
I would have.
Pure exhaustion.
I did that as soon. I got home about 2:30 or 3, and I just hung out with the little one for a while, and then I think we both took a nap in the chair, and that was the rest of my day until I had to go to work. I had to work last night too to top it all off.
Oh man. Oh no.
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
Wasn't great.
Yeah.
But yeah, great time. Kyle and I won the seventh flight champs, made the shootout. So that was pretty exciting.
Yep.
I was a little, I don't want to say I was less nervous than I thought I would be. I thought I was going to, the first two people I talked to after I found out we got in, it was Tanner and James is like, oh, you're going to be so nervous. Like didn't help, wasn't trying, but they claimed they were trying to help by giving me a heads up. It didn't seem that way, but no, I wasn't nearly as bad, like nerve wise, as I thought I would be.
Yeah. It's usually just the first one is like, usually your first two shots are really,
well, what's funny is,
and then after that, you're kind of settled down.
So so everybody knows how, how it ended up there. We make the shootout. 8 teams make the shootout. Everybody tees off. You take the better ball from the tee shots. We took Kyle's. He was at the top of the hill. I went trees left naturally. And my second shot, it's alternate shot. So I take second shot. It's one I want back really bad because I should have put a swing on it. I didn't. I was trying to get maybe a little too cute. I should have just went for the green. I was trying to get front of the green. I wanted that.
Yeah, center of the green
pin
is what
seeker.
You should have been thinking.
Yeah, it's where I should have been aiming for. And I tried to get fancy and ended up putting Kyle in the sand. However, Kyle, in the most confident fashion of anybody I've ever seen, just came up to me and was like, "Don't worry. I'm either putting it in or I'm putting it close." And I was like, okay. And he did. So that was good. And then I get the putt, which was the most, I will say this, as I stood over the putt with like 200 people up on top of the hill watching, it was definitely the most nervous putt I've ever stood over. Most nervous putt. Is that how you say that? Most nerve-wracking putt?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So I'm like, it was definitely like, knees weren't shaking, but they were damn close. But luckily I canned the putt. Of course, we end up losing in the chip off, which
that was a hell of a chip off. Other than McGinn's chip, it must have been Kyle's, and then I don't remember who else got eliminated.
Shit.
Because like McGinn hit it almost off the green, and then it was, Kyle. It looked like it's hard to tell.
I didn't know his name. Dude in the
gray. Was hard it was Gary Adams' partner.
Yes, correct.
But so obviously we can't tell because we were up on top of the hill watching you guys. But it looked like everybody else hit it to like 2 feet, and then the ones Kyle's and Gary Adams' partner, they looked like they were maybe 6 feet, 5-6 feet. So like not horrible chips. Like that was just that was an intense chip off. Like there were some good ones thrown in there.
The three that advanced were inside 4 feet or less.
One of them almost went in. It might have been Nord. Nord almost
canned it. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was a really good chip off. So it was unfortunate we didn't get through that. But again, if I hadn't, I don't put Kyle in the sand. I give him a better look at birdie.
Well, you still did better than what I thought you were going to do. I had complete confidence the putt was going in, but that second shot, I said, "Oh boy, nerves are flying." I could see this one just being hit thin and 30 yards over the back of the green. I was like, "Just don't do that." Missing the sand was fine.
I was reiterating, keep head down. Over and over and over again. But yeah, it was fun though. I'm glad that we played. That's our second year playing. We didn't make the shoot. We just missed the shootout last year.
Still won some good money though.
Yeah, I won $600. So yeah, got our entry fee back. Plus we won most points in our flight on day one. But yeah, so including the chopper, since Thursday, I played 82 holes of golf.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot. So yeah, I was pretty golfed out at the chopper. But it was still fun. I played with Scott and Tom and AJ, and we had a good time. But it was, it was just like every swing I took, I felt like in my entire body because it was just like it makes you wonder. Like I was kind of wondering like how many golf swings I took for that whole weekend, given the amount of holes.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. But unfortunately, you and little brother didn't
Yeah, he did not. He forgot to show up day one. You know,
Didn't he light
and then
it up day 2 though?
Oh yeah, day 2 he carried literally the first 9-hole match of day 2. I'm not kidding you. I think I finished 1 hole and I hit 3 total putts on the first 9 because he was just like in the middle of the green every time, and I was not playing well. So I think I was a little juiced from having to play 27 hard holes to try and get his points. Like just didn't have it on Saturday, but yeah, he just carried us around. He was in middle of the green, and I said, well, hell, I'm not slowing us down hitting this for 4 when you're putting for 3. You getting a blow everywhere. But he played better. He did cost us a little bit the second match. We could have won a little side action we had, but we just didn't get it done in the second match. I played a little bit better there, but yeah, first day I kind of carried us around, and he wasn't a whole lot of help. If he would have been, we got there after the first match Saturday. I think we were like, we could have won second in the flight easily, and just didn't do it. I think we would have need to get probably 5 points off the guys we played against, 6 points off the guys we played against, and we could have had second.
So yeah, for me it was played well I played good Friday. Saturday, Kyle really showed up. I mean, he was golfing out his ass Saturday. That's what made me feel bad that he had to do the chip. And I mean, I'm not going to say he's the reason we were eliminated, but not getting the chip was the reason we were eliminated. But like that should have been me blowing the chip, not him, because he just played so fucking good all weekend long. He's a fun partner. I mean, he's gonna, as long as I'm a member there, he's gonna be my partner in that. So
it's one of those things. I don't think he blew anything. He just got beat. Some days it happens. I felt like that happened to us in a lot of our matches.
That's a much better way to put it, because it wasn't a bad chip. It was just there was 3 really fucking good chips. And he told me he was anticipating a little bit of break off the like middle back of the green, and it didn't come back down. He hit it right where he wanted to. But he just, it is what it is. It was fun. And now the thing I'm happy about is I got a hole of shootout under my belt. So that, that's a plus for the future. Darren in the comments says Joe's been getting some extra work on the practice greens during the round.
That is true.
From Friday, from Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah.
I don't even know what happened there. Well, first of all, I didn't hit it as bad as it looked. It ran because the course is like cement.
Oh yeah, it was just rock hard. Yeah.
So I hit the backside of that hill, and I would have thought it would have stopped, but it continued up the hill somehow.
Yep.
And ran out pretty far. But yeah, I've kind of been yanking my wedges a little bit the last few days. They weren't my best club. I'm surprised I didn't yank the sand wedge in the shootout on 10.
Yeah, that would have been no good. You're just fine where you put it.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna move on. Local shout outs. Like I said, I only have one this week, and not a whole lot going on locally as far as sports go. But Chase Card, which I'm not sure of his age, but he's young. I mean, he's maybe, I'm gonna ballpark 9 to 12 years old, and I could be aiming high there. So he took first place in PA archery for his age group. Well, then what I found out in reading this is that this kid has his own YouTube channel called Chasing the Wild. So it's Chase, like his name Chase, but it's Chasen, Chasen, Chasing the Wild. He's got his own YouTube page where he's out fishing and doing stuff, and he's taking videos, and it's pretty cool. So if you ever, anybody listening gets a chance, go give him a subscribe, check him out. It's neat seeing youth getting into outdoor sports, especially when like hunting, even locally, seems down numbers wise. It's becoming the opposite. It's like it's dying as far as the youth goes a little bit. I mean, not too much. You still have a lot of hunters out there, but it's definitely not as popular amongst the younger crowd as it once was. So shout out to Chase. Good job in the archery contest. First place representing Warren County. It was pretty neat to see. Check out his YouTube channel. Where are we at? Buzzing. What's got you buzzing, Sketty? Buzzing and Buzzkill. Here we go.
What's got me buzzing? Nothing's got me buzzing, man. I'm still so tired from the weekend. I guess that I'm going to get kind of a day off tomorrow. Maybe that's what's buzzing, got me hyped. Although I do have jury duty.
Oh, you got jury duty.
I have jury duty tomorrow. Yes.
Wait, but wasn't it you who said you wanted jury duty?
Riley says that I want jury duty. I'm kind of excited to go through the process. I'm kind of excited to go through the process and see what it's like. But it might also be my buzzkill because I've heard that it's some painfully long and
stupid civil case or something.
Yeah. So that might be my buzz and my buzzkill is jury duty. Excited, but my dad was telling me today he just went and he only had one case. They said normally it's 3, and it takes forever. He said he was there for like an hour. I was like, great, awesome. I'm hoping that I just walk in and it's like someone I know from the force, so I can be like, yeah, nope, I know them. Get me out of here.
Yeah, I don't know too many people who enjoy it. Some people do though. They like serving. It's a little bit of a service to the community, and so it's kind of cool, I guess. But what's got me buzzing? I already said it. Getting a shootout under my belt, having that experience of, because that's hands down the most people that have ever watched me hit golf shots at one time. Like there was 200, 250 people watching all at once. So getting that in, making me feel a little bit better, more confident, moving on. So if I make it there in the future, I know what to expect. So killing your buzz, is that jury duty? Is that what you're going to tell me?
I would say more than that is just old age has caught me, man. 3 days of drinking in a row, and I just feel like absolutely death. Like I just I've got nothing. Yesterday was pathetic, and I thought, okay, well, at least I'll be good today. Still just exhausted today. Like it was, had to go and work and get some stuff done, and I just didn't want to be there at all. Getting old is no fun. Being old is killing my buzz.
I agree. What's killing my buzz? What was killing your buzz last week? Me? This week? You're killing my buzz while I'm at the long drive contest, just trying to stay loose. And my whole theory was 2 things. 1, all you had to do was hit the fairway to get into the drawing. 2, the whole concept of a bunch of people watching you swing a golf club. That was kind of like my warm-up because I planned on playing in the shootout. That was all along. I'm like, we're fucking getting there. We're going to do it this year. And so I'm like, I'll do the long drive because that'll get me the feeling of people watching me swing a golf club. And you sat there and just ran your mouth to me for like 5 minutes straight. While I'm like trying to address the ball, you're still just running your mouth.
Did you expect anything less? You said on the show last week, you want people making noise when you're getting ready to hit.
Yeah.
Welcome to the big leagues now.
So
what you're telling me is you're LeBron James. You're mad. You wanted to be removed. He was saying mean stuff to me.
I did. Yes. I am LeBron. I feel bad that I ever made fun of him for that because now I understand. I did offer the crowd. I offered the crowd $25 to punch you, and then you disappeared. So I either assumed somebody took me up on that, or you got scared.
No, I probably just ran out of beer. That's the logical thing. I must have been out of beer.
All right, moving on. Baker. So the Baker trade has been done. We've been anticipating this for a while now. Traded the Panthers. The Panthers will pay $4.85 million of his salary, while the Browns will pay $10.5 million of his salary. The Browns receive a 4th or 5th round pick in 2024, depending on playing time. That is, if Baker gets 70% of snaps, then it'll move up to a 4th. Otherwise it's going to remain a 5th. So a couple of notes, and then I'll open the floor to you here. We remember, the dragging him through the mud that I complained about forever, that I thought was stupid and ruined his draft stock, which I still think it did. They probably could have gotten more out of him had they not opened their mouths, but they did. And the quote came out that they wanted an adult at quarterback. If Deshaun Watson is that adult, interesting choice, but whatever. That's a whole nother conversation. So now that the trade is done, obviously more stuff's coming out, more details about everything. And they said the quote that has now come out is, the Browns widely viewed Mayfield as childish and immature, stating his behavior annoyed teammates and divided the locker room, and he was often difficult to coach. So they're still like, they're doubling down, but they must have reserved all of that because they were like, hold on, we have to trade this guy and we need somebody to want him. And then last note, like I put on the Facebook page, the schedule maker wizardry has come through again, and the Panthers host the Browns week 1. So, and then you saw the post that said the Browns are actually paying Baker to try and beat them, which is hilarious. So, go ahead. Thoughts on all of this?
I mean, for me personally, my biggest thought about the whole thing was fuck, Jimmy G is going to be a 49er this season then, because they're not trading him to the Seahawks, and I don't see him just cutting him. So I guess we're not going to get anything for him, because that was the logical spot. But honestly, Baker wasn't going to play for the Browns. Like, the fact that they got anything for him is good, I guess. But I mean, you took the first overall pick, and 3 years later, he's now a 4th or 5th round pick is what you got for him.
Yeah.
I mean, just it's Cleveland on top of Cleveland, especially if Deshaun Watson doesn't play. This just looks really, really bad. And I'm on record as saying I think that moving off of Baker necessarily wasn't the wrong move. You know, I was this before the Deshaun Watson was even the Browns were even a destination for that guy. I thought Baker would be done in Cleveland. So is what it is. It'll be interesting to see what happens in Carolina. I think he's going to beat Darnold out. I don't know why they would trade for him to sit behind Darnold. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully Baker can turn things around a little bit for the career, but don't know how much faith I have in that going forward.
So I saw another post regarding this that said, now you're looking at that quarterback, the 2018 quarterback draft class, where the large majority of analysts were saying Baker, Darnold, Rosen, those are like your sure things, and that Allen was risky and Lamar's risky. Well, now you have the two, alleged to be risky guys are the only two remaining on their team. One's a top 3 quarterback who just signed a massive contract. Lamar's, about to sign a deal, I would assume. I still don't have a whole lot of faith in him myself personally, but now you have 2 of those guys on their second team and on the same team. So what is it? The first and third pick, or what?
First and third, yeah.
First and third, or first and fourth?
I honestly don't remember now.
I think it's first and third. It's first and third.
First and third, yeah. Because
Barkley
the Browns
was 2
had the
and the Browns had
too.
4th. Yes, correct.
Yeah, they took Ward. Yep.
Yeah. So, in the comments, we got a couple from Darren here. He said, "What did they think of OBJ when they signed him?" Yeah, it's just Brown stuff, and they had all this information. They had all the negative information about OBJ, and didn't they ship a first rounder for him?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Browns.
Well, maybe it's the third. Well, either way, it's too much.
At least the Browns didn't change their stadium name to Acrisure. Yeah, we're getting to that next, actually. So we'll move right on into that. Heinz Field, no more. So known as Heinz Field since it opened in 2001, the stadium will be known as Acrisure Stadium. I think I'm saying that right. Acrisure?
No idea.
Yeah, whatever. Beginning this season, the team announced today it's a 15-year deal. The details weren't announced. Acrisure is a top 10 global insurance broker out of Michigan that nobody in Pittsburgh has heard of, as displayed by the internet today. The best tweet that I saw said, good luck getting everybody in Pittsburgh to not call this place Heinz Field. They called the concert venue Star Lake for 20 years until they just finally changed the name back.
Yeah, right. Yep.
So,
yeah,
like the couple people who texted me about this, I said the same thing to them because they were Steeler fans. I said, everybody is still going to call it Heinz Field. It's just like Buffalo, everybody still calls it the Ralph. Like,
yep. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's the Ralph.
It's the Ralph. And even though it's been New Era, but the difference when it switched to New Era is like Buffalo based, at least. This place is in Michigan, has no pit. I read that their Pittsburgh ties are that they like bought out some company that's down there, but it's not no roots, not like Heinz.
Yeah. I had a couple of buddies say that today. Like UPMC couldn't pony up the money. Like do
Right.
something.
Yeah. Well, this insurance broker, I guess, has like accumulated like 3.5 billion worth of wealth in the last 8 years. Like they've just climbed quickly.
Okay.
So probably a bunch of shady shit happening, I would assume.
No, I'm sure.
Yeah, but
well, did you see the crazy Q right wing conspiracy theory on this?
No.
Why it's no longer Heinz Field?
Why?
Oh, I don't remember where I saw it, but apparently something came out with Hunter Biden's laptop, and one of the Heinz guys was like connected to Epstein or somebody, and that's why they're dumping the Heinz.
So isn't John Kerry's family involved in Heinz?
I have no idea.
I think they are. I'm pretty confident that like maybe his wife or something. There's some sort of connection there. I know there is. I just don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's John Kerry's wife.
It could be. Yeah, there was some. It was a Hunter Biden laptop thing though. That's there's a connection. Something evil. It's gonna. The news is gonna be breaking anytime. Everyone's going to jail. You know the spiel.
Yeah.
I gotta,
as always, unlikely.
Big chuckle at that.
But I bet you that's what it is. I bet you that's where the conspiracy theory is heading. Is because I'm pretty confident that I think it's his wife. John Kerry's wife is a Heinz.
That sounds right.
Something.
Someone's wife is. I don't remember who, but that sounds right.
So he's on 100.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got nothing else for the buzz. You have anything?
Nope.
Darren, one last comment before we take a break. He says the NFL is also the lone league not to be advertising on uniforms. Is hockey? I haven't seen any hockey advertisements on hockey.
I didn't know baseball was.
Baseball's had a few here and there, but I have not seen anything on hockey. I know NBA for sure. They get like Kobe had like Wish next to his back, or I think they were doing it then when Kobe was playing, but they've been doing it a while. I know that for sure. All right. Get this comment out of here, and opening buzz brought to you by Busch Light Apple. It's back on the shelves. Get it wherever you purchase your adult beverages. Please drink responsibly, everybody. We did this weekend. My truck remained at CVCC because that's how you do it. Drink responsibly.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back.
Whenever you crack open a Busch Light, the mountain starts singing.
It's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you.
What is going on?
Hit it, Giant Kenny G.
It's so smooth.
Head for the mountains of Busch Light Beer.
Hi, this is Brian Hagberg, and I wanted to take a moment to tell you about our new website, yourdailylocal.com. Your Daily Local is your new home for news, sports, and events in Warren County and beyond. Our goal is to cover the people, places, events, and happenings that matter to you in a variety of ways, including writing, video, and audio. And the best part? All of our content is available for free. Head to yourdailylocal.com to get the news you need when you need it.
Let's take a look back at this week in sports history.
This week in sports history is brought to you by Your Daily Local. Visit yourdailylocal.com for the news you need when you need it. All right, so this week, like I said, we're doing the history of Warren County golf courses. So I did some research, found some stuff, and the reason I did this is because everything, the gift we got from member guests, plus like I won those cups, those two glasses.
Yep.
And it always says, CVCC 1916. So it made me wonder, like, when did the other courses come to be in the area and all that? And obviously with Conelongo, we could go into a real deep dive, but just a couple of notes on Conelongo. So 1916, it was built. Of course, it was only 9 holes originally, and I think it was. I didn't write down the year. Do you remember the year that they added the second 9?
I have nope, not sure when that got added.
But the original holes were 1, 9 would have been 2, right?
Yep.
10 is 3.
No, 16, 17, 18.
Okay, and then
so 10, you see, you go in order: 10, 11, 12, and then 13 was the closing
9.
Hold. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and that's the Donald Ross original. Which what I read was there was one of the Conroes was golfing down at Pinehurst, and that's where in what, South Carolina, North Carolina, one of the Carolinas,
North Carolina,
Pinehurst. So that's where he meets Donald Ross. They ask him to build, a course up here. And if you go on the Conelongo Valley Country Club website, you can actually read about this. And this is something cool that I did that I didn't know you could find. They have uploaded the original notes, like the drawings, the sketches.
Oh, really? I didn't know they had those uploaded
on the website. So you can see the original sketches that Donald Ross did prior to the construction of the course. But it wasn't, I think it was like I want to say it was early 60s, but it might have been early 40s. I can't remember that they added 9 more holes to Conelongo. But either way, one other story quick about Conelongo. I don't have any other historical stories about the other 3 courses, but we will get into those things. The Lloyd Cleveland story, which is my favorite story about that place, was that, and it was shortly after the 9 holes opened. Lloyd Cleveland was one of the regulars there. Didn't have enough money to to pay for the $3 for the caddy. So he gave him like some money and then a pack of gum or something. Well, the caddies went on strike, and they came back up that night and burnt down the caddy shack.
Okay, I did not know this.
You didn't know that story?
No, I did not know
that. So the
caddy
shack is over by the senior tees for hole 1. That's where it would have been.
Okay. Yep. All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So like opposite the garage, the cart garage now. Yeah, and they burnt that son of a bitch to the ground in protest. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. But what's funny about that is now, like, one of my favorite scenic areas on the course is the cart path between hole 8 and hole 9, where hangs the sign Cleveland Drive.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
that's who it's named after, is Lloyd Cleveland. So pretty cool. But anyways, Conelongo, 6,590 yards from the blue tees, 6,361 from the whites, and the slope is a 132 rating, which is 10 higher than the second highest in the county. So it is significantly more difficult than.
It's rated too high right now. Personal opinion.
Think so?
Yeah, course used to be a lot tougher. Just some of the trees they've lost, the conditions they keep it in. It's not probably playing to quite that. Still tougher than anywhere else in the county, but just not as tough as it's actually rated. Should be redone.
All right, so we'll move on to Jackson Valley Country Club, built in 1961. It is 6,371 from the blues, so 10 yards more than what Conelongo is from the white tees, and 6,101 yards from the white. So it's at 260 yards less on the white tees is Jackson Valley as compared to Conelongo, and its slope rating is 117. Any comments on Jackson Valley?
I still think it's probably the easiest course in the county, just because it's wide open. I really do. Yeah. Yep. I think it's probably the
more
easiest.
than Cable.
Yeah, I think just because the Cable, the back 9 can kind of get you a little bit. Front 9 at Cable's kind of easy, other than the long par 5. Cable's pretty wide open, but usually they're keeping their greens a little bit faster too. I just feel like at Jackson, it's just kind of a short course. There's not a whole lot of trouble other than maybe 7 and 8. You can get into a little bit of trouble. Outside of that, there's not a lot going on.
All right.
I mean, nice course. Just I think it plays easy.
Yeah, Jackson is the course I've played the least in the county, but I like it. Like every time I go up there, I like playing.
Oh yeah,
Cable. Well, hold on. We're gonna skip Cable because I didn't put these in order of year, and I wanted to, and I didn't. Blueberry is also 1961. It plays 6,716 yards from the Blues, 6,428 from the White. So it's actually longer than Conelongo.
Yeah. See, I don't understand that, how that's possible.
And it is a 122 for the slope. Now, this is per golfnow.com, which has like stats on every golf course in America.
Yeah.
So I'm preaching all this based off of that. I don't know, I didn't call them and say, hey, when's the last time you updated this or anything like that.
The length shocks me that it's 200 yards longer. I'm just trying to think of what, I guess Conelongo has the extra par 3, so that maybe that's what is a big factor in that.
I bet you, that would probably be it.
I guess Blueberry does have a long par 3, or a couple kind of long par 3s.
Yeah, number 8.
Maybe it's not as much.
Long par 3. Number 11's fairly long par 3.
Yeah, depending on where you set it, that could be kind of long. Yeah. So
they're the slope Blueberry second most difficult in the county at 122, and also the course I've played the most other than Conelongo. But Conelongo I've played the most. Blueberry second for sure.
I think Blueberry is pretty tough. You just have to be more accurate up there.
I like it. Nice course. And of course, Gary and, good staff.
Oh yeah. Gary
staff up there. And last but not least, Cable Hollow, which was constructed in now here's the thing. Golf Now says 1964, but their website says 1972. Cable's actual website says 1972. So you would tend to believe that 1972. They are 6,712 from the blue, 6,320 from the white, with a slope of 108. So according to slope, easier than Jackson.
I think Cable, for me personally, I think that's probably the best, the course that's in the best condition. It always seems to be.
I would agree with that.
They do an excellent job up there.
Their grounds crew crushes it.
Yeah. The course always looks really nice.
Yes, it does. So that's it. I just thought, the whole cup thing that said 1916 kind of gave me the idea. I was like, I'm curious when these were all constructed. Interesting, Jackson and Blueberry were happening, at the same time, the construction of both of those, and then Cable either 3 years later or 11. We're not sure, but I'm going to go with 11 because that's what their actual website says. But and then, of course, there's always been the rumor for Blueberry that they're going to get an additional 9.
Well, the land is purchased and it was cleared at one point in time, and then they just didn't build it.
Yeah, so that would be pretty badass if that ended up being a 27 hole venue. I would like that a lot.
They'd probably just fill it up with another league. They still couldn't play it, but it would be nice for them to, get. I would be a member if I knew I had 9 holes I could go play.
Yeah, and that's what I can't remember who I was talking about. I think maybe Fuzzy. I was talking to him about that's to me the biggest plus of being a member at Conelongo is that the course is shut down 4 or 5 days for a whole summer.
Yeah, there's not many that you can't just go up and play.
You can always get out on the course. You can always go golf, and that's not the case with you have to play around leagues or be in the leagues or play around scrambles and at the public courses, and that's just. And at Cable, last time we played Cable, not in a scramble, just went and golfed. We did Twilight. We got caught behind a sixsome of 19-year-olds who didn't even have an idea to say, hey, do you guys want to play through? And it was miserable. That just too crowded.
Once you go to the club, you can't go back. It's like, man, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Why would I do this?
Yeah. So it definitely has its advantages. For the downfalls it may have had a couple times in the past few years. It definitely still has, the ability to go out and play, which is why I'm there. And good course for me too is just having been there to learn on it, that being my course that I'm really learning the game on, will make it a little easier at some other places. So that's not necessarily a bad thing either. All right, that's it for this week in sports history. It's brought to you by Your Daily Local. Visit yourdailylocal.com for the news you need when you need it. We'll be right back after a quick break. Sketty on, Ja Morant.
Hey there, everyone. This is Phil with JP Photography. I know. A photography ad on a sports show? I get it. You're here for sports talk and listening to Joe and Sketty's insane rambling.
Wait, what?
But bear with me for a few. I just want to tell you that JP Photography not only offers wedding photography, but also does events, engagements, headshots, family photos, and even some product photography. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for JP Photography or go directly to our website at johnphilphotography.com. That's JONPHIL photography.com.
He's absolute trash.
Sketty on. Let's have a listen to what Sketty's on this week.
0% chance that works.
All right, Sketty, let me get your music going, and you're on Ja Morant.
Yep.
We're rocking music. Here we go.
So, yeah, I saw it yesterday. Buddy sent it to me. Ja Morant basically said two things about Michael Jordan this week. One, that he would cook him one-on-one, which at least that one I can say, okay, what's he supposed to do? Say he'd lose to Michael Jordan one-on-one? He's an athlete. He expects to beat someone. Even though he's thinking it, he's not going to say it. The other thing that he said, though, was that Michael Jordan would be just another superstar today because they have guys like me and Luka and Trae Young and whatever the hell other bullshit list he had, which is just absolutely fucking blasphemous. I wish we could take Michael Jordan in a time machine, bring him here today, and watch him soar 60 while locking Ja Morant the fuck up, and then everyone would just shut the hell up about it. Like, just stop. The dude's the GOAT. Just stop. You don't need to say anything else about him. He might just come bust Ja Morant's ass at however old he is, 60 years old, just because he probably could still fucking do it. You sound like an idiot. Shut up. Wash your mouth with soap. Whatever you got to do. Stop with the blasphemy. We don't want to hear it.
Wash your mouth with soap.
That's what he needs. It's unbelievable.
So, yeah. Here's something I was thinking about. You ever notice how NFL players don't ever bring up old NFL players and they're like, that guy couldn't do shit now.
Yep.
And
even though the reason
is, I think the reason is because even the players understand that the game of football was far more physical in 90s and earlier on than it is now due to the way they're protecting players and concussion protocol, CTE, all that stuff. I mean, it makes sense. I'm not knocking anything that is happening, but the game used to be you could tackle people, really tackle them and not worry about any type of flag coming in.
Yeah, you can basically hurt people.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that is why those guys don't bring up old players, like he couldn't hang now kind of thing. Although I do kind of believe that is why. Couldn't the same be said for the NBA? Like the NBA was a lot more physical back in the 90s and before that than
people
it is
were getting
now.
Hammered. Yeah, people were getting hammered. Like, I get it. The athletes are bigger now. That's one of my biggest beefs with this thing. Like, we're talking about football players. Jim Brown would not be the running back he was in the 50s today because he was just bigger than everyone else. He was basically back then. He was what Derrick Henry is today, just bigger and faster than everybody else. So yeah, athletes are a little bit maybe more athletic these days. Guys are bigger. It's just the way, sign of the times.
Well, yeah,
whatever you want to figure out, weightlifting, whatever. But skill wise, the guy was still lights out. He was taking a beating every day. Like, if you let him come up and he just transported him to this time, he'd be unstoppable. Give the guy take the cigars out of his hand. Don't let him stay up gambling all night long. Put a good diet on him and see what happens. Just nonstop training. He would just own people.
Yeah, well, and like I saw a post too the other day that showed a picture of Shaq and somebody else, and it was like, you know, big men from back then. Maybe I can't remember who it was. Shaq and somebody, and then they showed like big men today, and it was Chet Holmgren.
Yeah,
who you know was he the first pick overall or close to?
No, he's like top 3, I think.
Yeah, he was up there. I mean, tall kid from Gonzaga. He's good. There's no doubt about that. But physically, like that would have been the guy guarding Shaq.
No, like there's no way Shaq would do. That's why Shaq was so dominant for a number of years. Like, and it'd be worse today. It'd be worse. He would just absolutely bully people.
All right, hold on. We got something in the comments here. Bill Vargo, did you win our basket? Is that what you're saying here? So you need to give me a yay or nay on that, and if so, we can give you a few, just what to do moving forward kind of things. Not to change the subject here, but Bill, if you're still listening, if you want our basket, please let us know in the comments. Back to the big guys. Chet would be Edson if he was 7'4". It's just a string bean, though. Like who's?
Yeah. He's talking about cousin Jake.
Oh yeah.
No, you know my cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
It's just why compare? You don't need to say stuff like that. I think the other thing that kind of is like drove me nuts is he said it was just Michael Jordan versus a bunch of average players. Like he didn't beat in his last 2 finals the second leading point scorer of all time, and I believe he is still the assist leader by a long shot.
I completely disagree with that.
Steals leader, like just blasphemous. Like saying
there is those
guys are average.
I think there was more good players spread out amongst other teams back then than there was now. Yeah. So. Whatever. I think it's just easy for these guys to say this stuff now because he knows he's not going to play Jordan.
Exactly.
Like he's not going to have to do that. So it's easy.
You would not have said that. You would not have said that to the man if you were on the court with him. No chance.
Correct. Right. So, real quick, back to the comments. So, Bill, congratulations, Bill, won our podcast basket from the Chopper tournament. So, Bill, you get to pick a guest. And you get to golf 18 with Sketty and I at Conelongo Valley Country Club and pound some bush lights simultaneously. It'll be a good time. Just send me a message on Facebook. Let me know who your guest is going to be, and we'll set up a date where we can make that happen. All right. So that's going to be it for Sketty On. We're going to take a quick break, be back with a very probably the fastest ever Things That Sting because there's not a whole lot going on there. And then we're going to hammer some NFL quarterback talk in my hive. So we'll be right back here in a couple.
Jones Pest Control, your hometown pest control company servicing residential and commercial properties in Warren and surrounding areas since 2015. Sean and his crew will work tirelessly to keep your home or business free of insects to rodents and everything in between. Contact Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548 and set up an appointment today. And remember, ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control, 814-230-9548.
Checkout means sales and services with 2 locations on Warren's East Side. Their garage at 800 Lexington Avenue not only services cars sold by Means, but has knowledgeable staff and modern state-of-the-art equipment waiting to serve their hometown of Warren. Whatever you need, including alignments, tires, brakes, yearly or enhanced PA inspections, oil changes, and much more. Make your appointment today at 814-723-7191, extension 2.
It's now time for the things that sting. The worst stories in sports, according to Joe.
This edition of The Things That Stings, powered by Jones Pest Control. Ants, spiders, bees, or mice don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548. All right, just a couple stories. No rundown, no follow-ups. Not a lot going on. So, Dwayne Brown, free agent offensive tackle, arrested at Los Angeles International Airport on Saturday for allegedly possessing a concealed weapon. He's due back in LA August 3rd for a hearing on a misdemeanor charge of the gun, which wasn't loaded but was found in his luggage by airport security. How does this still happen? Do we pull? I
think my gun was in my bag.
Yeah, that's got to be the line. I can't wait to see more on this for what his statement is, because I bet you that's what it's going to be.
Yeah,
forgot it was in there. I mean, at least it was unloaded. That makes it look a little better, right? But just not great. But free agent, so not looking. I don't know what kind of discipline he's going to be looking at. Have to get signed and then serve a suspension if that's how it's going to go or what. But that's all for arrests as far as I saw. Like I said, could have been
long weekend.
Wasn't on my phone much at all. I still have text messages that I need to respond to. Honestly, I do, like 2 or 3.
Yeah, same. Yep.
So I should probably do that. Maybe I'll remember after the show. So, the good one though from this week: hide your mom from Zach Wilson. His ex-girlfriend. So he was dating Abby Gile, who's like an Instagram model or something like that, right?
Yep. She was an Instagram model. Now he's dating a TikTok model. I think I saw today. Got to keep it all straight.
So
he's got
Abby is now dating Wilson's ex-best friend, BYU roommate, and current Washington Commander skin wide receiver Dax. Is it Milne? Is that how you say his last name?
I have no idea. I saw it. Couldn't tell you.
Never heard of the guy. But so this comes out, that they're dating now, and some guy comments on Abby's post and calls her a homie hopper, which is I love
that one.
Can't say I've ever heard that one before.
It's new to me too.
Yeah, homie hopper. So she responds though and says he was sleeping with his best friend's mom. That's a real homie hopper. And it's believed, as far as the way I'm perceiving this, is it was Dax's mom.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see that, but I guess that's possible.
Yeah, that's the way I'm understanding it. I mean, I saw a couple different reports on this, and one definitely led me to believe that it was Dax's mom that he was hooking up with.
I mean, it would make sense as why he got with his ex-girlfriend then.
Right? Yeah, they teamed up. Yeah, sure. But so this is like what's the guy on American Pie?
Stifler.
No, it was Stifler's mom. Who's the guy who?
Oh,
Paul.
I can't think of.
They call him Shipbreak.
Yeah, I can't think of Shipbreak.
But I can't remember what his last name was. But he was definitely, that's this type of scenario. Also, BYU Mormon school, right?
Yeah, right. So,
all is it an all guys school or no?
No. It's women go as well, but there is rules on campus. There's, I think one basketball player got kicked off because I don't know if he kissed his girlfriend, had sex with his girlfriend,
found in her dorm.
Yeah, kicked out of school.
You can't even go into the girls' dorms. Yeah, there's lots of rules. So that's the thing. You pent these kids up for 4 years or however many they're there, and don't let them do what they need to do. They get backed up and things happen. Now
that's all part of the religion, though. He's going to hell. He's still being a Mormon. He's in deep doo-doo.
Yeah, so that was a good one, though. I got a kick out of that and the stuff that's happening online with it, the memes that are coming from it.
Yeah.
Now, Zach Wilson, I hope he kind of takes a decent step this next season and play some, okay football, because if he doesn't, it doesn't make this story as cool as like if he's a good quarterback and he just, hooking up with his teammates' moms or ex-teammates' moms, whatever. But that's it for Things That Sting. This edition of Things That Sting, powered by Jones Pest Control. Ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548. Another quick break, and we're going to get into AFC, NFC quarterbacks in my hive. Blue Line Auto, located at 1606 Pennsylvania Avenue East in Warren, is locally owned and operated and is a family-run business specializing in vehicle sales and service. They offer state and safety inspections and general car repairs, including but not limited to brakes and rotors, tires, oil changes, batteries, starters, and alternators. They also offer vehicle undercoating prior to winter to help keep your vehicle protected. Currently, their hours are Monday through Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Thursday and Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them today to schedule your next appointment at 814-230-9061. Your safety is their goal.
Hi, this is Ryan Klein, the host of the new pop culture podcast, Me, Myself, and Rye. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and several other platforms. Special guests, breakaway shows, bonus episodes, cold beers, and a whole lot more. So what are you guys and gals waiting for? Subscribe now to the Me, Myself, and Rye podcast on Spotify or wherever it is that you get your shows and start listening today.
My Hive, Joe and Sketty's very own world of sports.
My Hive is presented by Blue Line Auto. For all your automotive needs, call Blue Line Auto at 814-230-9061 or stop in at 1606 Pennsylvania Avenue East in Warren. Quarterbacks. So training camp's like what, next week? Is that when it starts?
Soon.
Next week or the week after?
I think
it's gotta
so.
be coming up here pretty soon, yeah. So last week, like I said, we wanted to get into AFC quarterbacks. Got cut off. Peppermill emergency. Those happen. We have to we always have to account for a potential Peppermill.
Far too often, I'm afraid. Yeah.
So we didn't get to do AFC last week, so we're going to double up this week, do both of them. We're going to start AFC East, then we'll go NFC East, North. We're going to go back and forth within, the division and then conference. So starting off, and of course, some of these we're not even going to have to really talk about. There's the first one I have on East is the Bills, Josh Allen. There's really nothing to mention there.
Yeah.
They did sign two backups that I was kind of surprised about though, with Barkley came back and then Case Keenum. So I don't know if they're going to carry three quarterbacks or what their plan is, but obviously Allen the starter there, and that's the idea of these conversations is going to where there may be controversy or whatnot. So Patriots, Mac Jones, that's a no-brainer there. There's nothing to say there. Dolphins, however, so Tua, could possibly be on a short leash. This is the year. If you watch any of the Dolphins fan pages, they're all saying he has Tyreek now. He's obviously going to take the step because Stephon Diggs is apparently the only reason that Josh Allen took the step is what, the way I'm perceiving these comments that they're saying on there. But Tua, it seems like there's a lot of players having to be outspoken for him right now. And it almost kind of stinks he's really not that good, but I can't say that to the media. So I have to say things that make, him look a little bit better.
It's just going to be
he has Teddy Bridgewater sitting behind him.
Yeah, I forgot Teddy was there. Yeah, so there could be a little pressure, but I mean, it's really telling year for the franchise. I mean, it's you have Tua. You hope that Tua steps up. If he doesn't play well, then maybe Teddy steps in and he can still guide that team to a playoff run. But right now it's just basically let's see what Tua's got, and if if it doesn't happen this year, this is it. It's probably a last chance for him.
I would think so too. And what they do moving forward, who knows if Tua doesn't work out, but remains to be seen. I don't necessarily believe in him at all personally.
Yeah.
But that's just me. The Jets, Zach Wilson, obviously. If he's in year 2, I still think he has some wiggle room, even if he has a not so great year this year. Still has wiggle room, being that it's year 2. He does have Mike White behind him, though.
Yep. Yeah.
We all know,
Mike White. Go.
We all know the great White, who kind of put himself on a pedestal and then threw for 4 picks or whatever it was against the Bills and was never heard from again. So NFC East, Giants. I mean, Daniel Jones, you would think like he's on a kind of make or break.
I agree. I think it's a year with Dable and see if he takes you're looking for him to make steps. He's got to make progress this year.
Tyrod behind him.
Yeah, I don't see them pulling him for Tyrod because I think they have to find out if he's going to be the guy going forward. I think we could both agree that Tyrod's not the guy going forward, and I don't think the Giants are going to be.
Definitely not.
I don't think the Giants are going to be in a situation to win that division. So I don't foresee a situation where they go to Tyrod to try and pull it out.
This is a get Jones going type of season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like the two.
Cowboys,
our guy.
Cowboys, Dak. Eagles, Jalen.
See, Jalen, I think he's kind of in that same boat though, where he's got to take steps this year, or they're going to be looking elsewhere.
They're definitely putting the pieces in place as though he is their guy.
Yeah. Well, they've given him the help, and he's in the same boat as Tua. Like you got to step up and do something with it.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that's a good comparison. Jalen and Tua kind of same realm right now. Washington just traded for Wentz, clearly going to be their starter. Still has Heineke, and they drafted Sam Howell,
which I've heard a lot of good things about him. So we'll see. I think it's Wentz's job right now. He would have to be playing pretty bad for them to go to Howell. So, with
that said too, I think like Heineke, I think his ship kind of sailed. Like they were.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that was a dude who. It wasn't like, hey, we're going to take our time and develop. It was like they plugged him in. They gave him quite. I think he started all last year for the most part, didn't he? And it was, you kind of saw what you had with him, and I don't think it's going to get much better than that.
No, he's done.
So Wentz and it was interesting that they drafted Sam Howell based off of the Wentz trade, but I guess good to have a backup.
Looking for the future.
Yeah.
Yep.
AFC North, Bengals, Joe Burrow, no brainer. Browns, Browns. Well, let's just get the Ravens out of the way. Lamar, I would think they're going to play him full season and kind of go from there because he's still looking into the contract stuff. That'll be fun to watch, to keep an eye on because again, Lamar's not one who I think I think he's the guy who's kind of been figured out. His MVP season to me is a little bit like a
fluke.
Yeah, because everybody is so focused on him running the football, and that's how these quarterbacks who play like him run first type mentality. If there's a time that he's forced to throw, they see what happens. So if they learn to contain him in the as a runner and make him have to be a passer. And that's what I think was taking place last year. Is or not last year, but the year before when he won MVP. It was just so many people up front that it wasn't hard to find somebody who's wide open because they weren't dropping too many people back into coverage. But again,
I think telling here because of contract is going to be the big thing there. Is will the Ravens pony up the money? I think he also represents himself. He doesn't have an agent.
He does. That's correct.
Like him and his mom do it.
Yeah, him and his mom do it together.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
So the two teams where we do have some questions in the North, obviously Cleveland with Deshaun. That'll be pending suspension. He's going to be the starter if he doesn't get suspended. I don't see how he doesn't get suspended, but it's the NFL.
I agree.
So who the hell knows? But
yeah, if he's, I think again, they keep saying maybe 6 to 8 games. I think it's a full season. But if Deshaun Watson plays, you're looking at like a Super Bowl contender. If it's Jacoby Brissett, you could maybe sneak into the playoffs with him. Rest of the team is pretty solid.
Yeah,
but it's going to be a rough season without Deshaun.
It's not far off from the same team as last year, and Baker's better than Brissett.
Baker was pretty bad last year.
Healthy
hurt. Baker's better than Brissett. Yeah, healthy Baker's
probably better than Brissett too.
Yeah.
But
we'll find out.
Yeah, we will. Steelers, Trubisky, you would think is going to be the starter, but there's been a lot of things too I've seen with Kenny Pickett's face on it. So who knows what's happening? But I don't foresee him starting over Trubisky. But it could be a scenario where Trubisky sucks and Pickett gets the nod. Because
I mean, I think they have to start there. I don't think they can start with Pickett because you're just going to root his confidence if he's not playing well and you switch over to Trubisky mid-season.
Right.
I think it's got to be give Mitch the chance, and then unless Kenny just absolutely outplays him, which I don't see happening.
Right. Yeah, I don't as well. So only 2 teams there with some question marks. Really none in the NFC North. You have Goff with the Lions, Kirk Cousins, Vikings. I mean, they do have Kellen Mond waiting in the ranks, but I don't think he's going to be any good personally. Packers with Rodgers and the Bears with they seem to be all in on Justin Fields here. So really nothing to discuss there. NFC or AFC South. Titans are interesting. Tannehill with Malik Willis behind them.
I think Tannehill gets the full year. I don't think Willis is ready.
However, it would take some bad performances. Yes, it would take some bad performances or an injury. I agree with you. Yeah, but I would easily venture to say that they're looking at Malik kind of as their future guy. Like let's get him ready. Yeah. The Colts with Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Texans, Davis Mills Mafia. That's who they like. Kyle Allen's waiting kind of in the ranks there. I still think they should look into a Jimmy G trade, but depends on what they're trying to do. Yeah, maybe they're not a team that's built for a Jimmy G. Actually,
you're not really. You're not really built to win now. Yep.
No. Yeah. So, and then the Jags, Trevor Lawrence. That's not changing anytime probably in the next 10 years. Where are we at here?
NFC South, right?
NFC South. Yep. Bucks, Brady, Falcons could be interesting. Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
But they drafted Desmond Ridder.
Yep.
I
have no faith in Mariota, so
I don't really either. And what do they have to lose? Grooming Desmond and getting him ready at game speed. It's not going to hurt anything. The Saints always have like 15 quarterbacks now, so Drew Brees is gone. So that could be
Taysom Hill's year.
Yeah, or is it Andy Dalton's, or is it Jameis Winston's?
Yeah, yep.
So they're pretty deep as far as like who they're going to pick from.
Average,
Jameis, I would assume Jameis is your guy.
I'd assume he's going to be a starter. Yep.
Hill's going to be their little gadget dude, like he always is, and then maybe Dalton. Maybe Dalton does end up taking over for Jameis because Dalton's serviceable. He's not great, but he's serviceable.
Yep.
And then the Panthers just traded for Baker. You would assume starter over Darnold. Darnold, who I was very high on last year, was playing well at the start, and then it just all collapsed. So I was
going to be in. I think I said earlier, I'm of the belief if you trade for Baker, you're planning on starting him, but it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. It seems like one of those guys is probably going to be done.
I hope Baker's starting week 1 because I want to watch that Browns game bad.
I honestly think like as bad as Baker was last year, I still think that Baker's kind of just like he's like that Andy Dalton level quarterback where he's going to be good enough to, if you have a good team around him, he can win some games for you. I don't think Darnold is that. So my feeling is that Baker's going to be a guy someplace, whether it's he stays in Carolina or they move him, or he moves through free agency. And I think Darnold, he's going to be looking at career backup now for the rest of his career.
Yeah, likely, very likely. AFC West, Chiefs. This one's probably the most set in stone, and probably the most talented, honestly.
I have all these teams rated pretty high.
Yeah, collectively, I would say this is the most quarterback talented division. We got Mahomes, Carr, Herbert, and Russ.
Yeah, which Mahomes and Herbert are studs.
Yes. Carr can be a stud one game and then look like.
I'll be interested now that he's actually has now that he actually has a receiver in Adams.
True number one. Great tight end. Pretty decent running back.
Yep. So I like
up on defense. Yeah, the Raiders are looking
set
to
up
make
well.
some moves here. That's for sure.
I honestly think Russ might be the biggest question mark out of the division. It's like, does he still have it, or is it gone? He's not been impressive the last few years in Seattle.
He's also been running for his life, though.
Yeah, well, that's just it. I mean, we're going to find out, was it the team or was it Russ?
Yeah. I mean, if he has some time in the pocket, which he didn't have in Seattle, that could make a world of difference for him. Because the one thing about Russ is that there's no denying is him taking care of his body, and everybody looks at Brady for that conversation. Russ really isn't far behind him. I mean, he has openly said that he puts $1 million or so into his body every year, treatment, whatever. So yeah, the Broncos were, in a lot of people's opinion, a quarterback away from being really good last year. So it'll be that'll be a fun division to watch. I mean, that's four pretty good football teams. A lot of people are kind of down on the Chiefs a little bit more now because Tyreek being gone and him being, really the primary for Mahomes. But yeah, I don't know. It's all,
we're going to find out.
We're going to find out. Last but not least, NFC West. 49ers, I'll start with them and I'll let you get into it, but correct me if I'm wrong. They have already announced Trey as the starter for this year, right?
Well, they're going into it planning like he's going to be the starter. He's been taking all the first team reps. However, Jimmy is still rehabbing from his surgery. Right now with the Baker going to the Panthers, I just don't know what you do with Jimmy. It would be really hard for me to see them just cutting him, even though it would save him a ton of money, and then they would have the money to extend Debo. Right now, the way I'm looking at it is he might just be on the roster this year. We're hearing a lot of reports that are saying that there's people within the organization that they don't think Lance is the guy. Some accuracy issues. They're saying something about arm fatigue, but apparently they changed his delivery, so that's kind of to be expected. You're using different muscles in there to throw. I don't think that's as big as an issue as it's been reported. But yeah, we're going to find out. I mean, I personally hope that they roll with Lance because you traded 3 first-round picks for the guy. Worst case, Jimmy Garoppolo is your backup, and you have the best backup in football. If you start Jimmy Garoppolo like week 10 when he doesn't have time to get hurt, the Niners could be dangerous. So we'll see what happens.
Just to give you a little, confidence boost going into the season. All the things you listed that they were like worried about with Trey, I've heard all of those same things before.
Yeah,
because they were all the same things people said about Allen, and that he can't, you can't fix accuracy. Well, I disagree because from what I've seen from year 1 Josh Allen to year 4 Josh Allen, you can fix accuracy because that guy rarely misses now, as opposed to sailing footballs and what he was doing a lot early on. And I think a lot of that could just be nerves, but I know that Allen took his progression very seriously. He worked a lot in the offseason. He had his own quarterback coach that he worked with, Jordan Palmer. So I like Trey Lance. I'm like, I hope that he ends up doing well because he reminds me of another Allen, and I think that he could be another guy who's good for the league. And
I think it's going to be one of those ones might have to watch a season of struggles, which I was kind of hoping they would just do it last year, let him go through these growing pains. The line is not going to be good, so I don't think you can stick Garoppolo back there. You need Lance's mobility to kind of move around. That line's it's not going to be fun to watch. But yeah, I mean, I think he's got to be the guy. But again, still good situation as we sit right now for this year. If Garoppolo's the backup, or even if he's the starter, it's an okay situation. It's not going to be a train wreck.
And then the only other team, obviously, you have the Rams with Stafford, Cardinals with Kyler, who's super overrated, and they could probably find somebody better, but that's neither here nor there. Seahawks, Drew Lock and Geno. Now, this is something I saw today, is that the Seahawks have inquired about Jimmy G.
Yep.
So
I've seen that as well.
I told you this past weekend. It's not something that is common or that a lot of teams like to even entertain the idea of trading a player within their own division, especially a starting quarterback.
Yep.
But if you're ready to move on from him and you want to get something for him and that's your last effort, do you say no because of the situation of facing him twice a year, or do you still pull the trigger on it so that you get something back for him instead of just him heading to free agency?
Well, I think what it comes down to is, do you keep him on the team this year or not? Like, if you're going to cut him this year, Seattle is picking him up. I would be utterly shocked if Seattle didn't grab him if he hits free agency this year. So at that point, yes, you take a pick for or whatever you can get for him. It's not going to be a lot. I'm guessing 6th round pick, something ridiculous. Which to me, if that's the case and you're okay with eating that salary for the year, keep him on the team so Seattle doesn't get him. I mean, you're going to look awful stupid if you trade him to Seattle and you could end up last place in the division. And I just don't think you can. I don't think you can risk that. But I mean, there again, I think that's someone Seattle needs to look at. I just don't think Drew Lock's the answer. Geno Smith, I just can't believe that dude's even still in the league.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually surprised about that too.
Yeah, they Seattle, I think, is probably the worst quarterback situation in football right now. Then who knows? Maybe the Seattle thing's all smoke. They might just say, "Screw it, we just want the number 1 pick next year. We're gonna roll Drew Lock. It's fine." I don't know.
I'm looking up real quick. Okay, all camps will be in session by July 26th. So I thought it was sooner than that. I think some teams report a little earlier than that. I thought it was like next week, but I'll have to look to see what the dates are for it. But yeah, I think our NFL talk's going to start increasing here as we go.
It is 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks it says. So
yeah.
But yeah, well, they did cut it. They did trim a game. So maybe that had something to do with it because they aren't starting any earlier season-wise. So maybe the trimming of the preseason game is the reason why that's happening. But so, yeah, that's it for today's show. We're going to, like I said, NFL Talk's going to continue to heat up. And we do have a couple guests. I got to get some interviews lined up here. We have a good handful of people who I got to have on. Blair Phillips, Ryan Rafalski, got a good chunk of guys who we're going to get to before football season really takes off, because that always ends up consuming the show when NFL rolls around. So, all right, everybody, thanks for tuning in this week. Thank you for getting in the comments. We like hearing from you. Like I say every week, when you put in your 2 cents, we'll obviously try and get it up on the screen and discussed in the show. So I want to thank all of you again for listening, and want to thank the sponsors: Swing Juice, Bush Light, Your Daily Local, JP Photography, Mean Sales and Service, Jones Pest Control, Me, Myself, and Rad Podcast, and Blue Line Auto. Thank you all. Till next week. We should be good again Monday night. Time will tell. We're kind of on a week-to-week letting you know what time and when it's going to be. Sometimes it might be different. The 8 o'clock thing worked out for a while, but we got some hiccups going on, so we're working around them though. But we'll still be here. Till then, take care. Be safe.